The wind howls outside, rattling the window pane, a reminder that the world is cold and indifferent to your comfort. It is that time of year when the days are short, the light is scarce, and the shadows seem to stretch longer than usual. You feel a familiar ache. Maybe it is physical, a sickness that won't leave, a chronic pain that grinds your bones. Or maybe it is something deeper, the pain of a broken heart, the sharp sting of failure, or the dull, heavy pressure of loneliness that sits on your chest like a stone. You want to curl up. You want to numb it. You want to run away, hide under the covers, and wait for the storm to pass. You tell yourself, I cannot take this anymore. You feel like a structure that is about to collapse under the weight of the snow. But before you close your eyes and retreat, listen. 2,000 years ago, a man sat in a tent on the frozen frontier of the Danube River. He was dying, his body was failing, riddled with ulcers and disease. He had buried his children, he had been betrayed by his friends. He was surrounded by barbarians who wanted to burn his empire to ash. He was the most powerful man in the world, yet he could not command the pain to leave his body. His name was Marcus Aurelius. And on those freezing nights, dipping his pen into the ink, he did not write about how to escape the suffering. He wrote about how to use it. He discovered a secret that we have forgotten in our age of painkillers and distractions. The secret is not how to stop the pain. The secret is how to stop the pain from breaking you. You are not a victim of your suffering. You are the fire that feeds on it. Let us be honest about the nature of pain. We live in a society that treats pain as a mistake. We think that if we are suffering, something has gone wrong. We treat sadness, grief, and physical discomfort as technical glitches in the system of life that must be fixed immediately. We scroll, we drink, we medicate, we distract. We do anything to avoid sitting in the discomfort. But the Stoics argue that this avoidance is exactly what transforms simple pain into unbearable suffering. Marcus Aurelius made a crucial distinction. He said, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. This sounds impossible, doesn't it? When your head splits with a migraine or your heart breaks from loss, it feels very real. It doesn't feel like an estimate. But look closer. There is the sensation, the raw data, the nerve ending sending a signal, the emptiness in the room. That is the reality. But then there is the voice in your head. The voice that screams, this is terrible. Why me? This will never end. I am broken. That voice is the amplifier. That voice takes a manageable flame and pours gasoline on it until it becomes an inferno that consumes your sanity. You are not suffering from the event. You are suffering from your judgment of the event. You are layering fear and self-pity on top of the raw sensation. You are carrying not just the weight of the moment, but the weight of a story you have created about the moment. To endure, you must retreat into what the Stoics called the inner citadel. Imagine your mind as a fortress. Outside the walls, there is war. There is winter. There is the chaotic noise of the world and the fragility of your own body. These things are vulnerable. They can be cut, burned, frozen, and broken. But inside the keep, deep within the center of the fortress, there is a space that belongs only to you. This is your ruling faculty, your reasoned choice. Marcus Aurelius whispered to himself, the mind, when it gathers itself, creates its own peace. Pain can breach the outer walls. It can storm the courtyard, but it cannot enter the throne room unless you open the door. When the wave of suffering hits you, do not run. Stand still. Observe the sensation like a scientist observing a chemical reaction. Say to the pain, you are just a sensation. You are just a signal. You are not me. This creates a gap, a tiny, holy space between the stimulus and your response. In that space, you regain your sovereignty. You realize that while you cannot choose what happens to your body, you have absolute dictatorial power over how you accept it. You can scream and thrash against the chains, which only makes the wounds deeper, or you can stand with dignity, acknowledging the weight but refusing to be crushed by it. One of the greatest sources of our suffering is the imagination. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. When you feel pain, your mind immediately projects it into the future. You think, I feel bad now, which means I will feel bad tomorrow, and the next day, and forever. You build a monument to eternal suffering in your mind, and then you try to carry that entire monument on your back today. No wonder you collapse. Marcus advised us to limit the suffering to the present moment. He asked, what is unbearable about this very second? Not the next hour, not next week, just this breath. Can you endure this specific breath? Yes. Then endure the next one. We break because we try to bear the weight of a future that hasn't happened yet. Cut away the future. Cut away the past. You only have to bear the present, and the present is always bearable. But Stoicism goes deeper than just endurance. It asks for alchemy. It asks you to transform the suffering. Marcus Aurelius used the metaphor of fire. A small candle can be extinguished by a gust of wind or a pile of debris. But a roaring fire consumes everything you throw into it. You throw a log at it, it burns. You throw a chair at it, it burns hotter. The obstacle becomes the fuel. This is the ultimate Stoic rule for pain. Pain is fuel. When you are sick, you practice the virtue of patience. When you are insulted, you practice the virtue of forgiveness. When you are grieving, you practice the virtue of love and fortitude. The pain is not a stop sign. It is the raw material that the universe has delivered to your doorstep. It is the marble block, and you are the sculptor. It is rough, hard, and cold. But without it, you cannot create the masterpiece of your character. A man who has never suffered is a man who does not know himself. He is untested. He is fragile. You should not wish for a life without pain, for that is a life without growth. You should wish for the strength to use the pain. Look at the winter outside. The trees are bare. The ground is frozen. It looks like death. But deep underground, the roots are strengthening. The cold is forcing the life force to concentrate, to harden, to prepare for the spring. Your suffering is your winter. It is stripping away the superficial leaves of your vanity, your ego, your need for comfort. It is forcing you to go down to the roots of who you are. It is showing you what is real. When you are in pain, the trivial worries of life, the likes on social media, the petty arguments, the fashion trends, they all vanish. Only the essential remains. Pain is a master of clarity. It clears the fog. It forces you to look at the foundation of your soul. There is a concept called amor fati, a love of one's fate. This is the final step. Not just to bear the pain, not just to use it, but to accept it as a necessary part of the fabric of your life. To say, this was meant for me. To stop looking at other people's lives and thinking they have it easier. Every person you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. The emperor in his palace and the beggar in the street both bleed the same color. Do not envy. Do not pity yourself. Embrace the cold. Embrace the hardship. It has been sent to you because you are strong enough to carry it. The universe does not give you a burden that exceeds your capacity to bear it. If you are still breathing, you are winning. So, the next time the darkness closes in and the pain threatens to drown you, do not close your eyes. Do not wish you were someone else. Stand up inside your inner citadel. Light the fire of your reason. Throw the pain into the flames and watch it turn into light. You are not your body. You are not your emotions. You are the observer. You are the will that endures. The winter is cold, yes. The night is long, but you are not the snow. You are the flame that burns despite the ice. And remember this, the pain will pass. It always does. But who you become while you endure it, that will last forever. You are not being punished. You are being forged.